Captain Trevor, I believe you have something that is the property of General Ludendorff.
Oh, it's the bad guy convention.
Give us Dr. Maru's notebook.
Where did I put that thing? Stand back. Or maybe not.
Taking a line from the film, I'm just honored to be an average guy talking to an above average guy.
Well played.
Was that in the original script, or was that a Chris Pine?
No. That was, I told Patty, that was one of the first scenes she pitched me at over dinner when we were talking about it. And I
Amazing
said, my
she
God,
chose that
I'd take the film just for that scene, just for that line.
That's almost as good as Bond, James Bond.
I know,
Really,
I know.
Nice moment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little film craft. Tone. For your part especially, I don't know if you'd even been willing or wanted to play it as just your standard old-fashioned straight arrow out of the shirt ads kind of a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, I saw him as in line with many of my favorites. I think many of my roles, I'm just recreating the guys I watched growing up. So it's like an amalgam. It's the Vitamix version of Harrison Ford, Bruce Willis, Cary Grant. You know, it's a guy that's a little jaded and rough around the edges, that's trying, that's a little tired, that is just that kind of it's the last ditch effort to kind of be as brave as he can and being as fallible and foolish all at the same time.
It reminds me of what Alfred Hitchcock said about Cary Grant. I mean, you probably know it. He said, the reason that Cary Grant is so charming is he's a handsome guy who acts like he doesn't know he's handsome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really
Cary, it's well, again, Spencer Tracy had it too. It's not to answer your question, but it's the scene with like Indiana when the guy's doing the whole whip thing or the thing, and then he just fires the gun. I don't know, that to me kind of is this character. Yeah.
It is a big canvas. It's an epic kind of a film, and there's so much going on. To what extent, it's not like you're doing a character study in an apartment, which you can concentrate just nicely on your character and with whom you're playing. To what extent can that get in the way of your concentration?
That's a good question. That it takes a long, nothing can prepare you for a movie. It's such a false medium.
You learn
it's
on
like,
the job.
Like right now, we're standing on, these.
We're standing inside of these little squares.
Right.
Don't move out of the little squares.
So all of that is very foreign. I think in the beginning I tried to pretend that it didn't exist, and then someone told me this great story about Meryl Streep where in the beginning of a film she'll go up to the cameras and actually kiss them and say hi to the actual cameras. This may just be apocryphal, but I love that, the idea that just welcoming in the absolute absurdity of what you're doing, and by doing that you lessen the anxiety of then trying to become a schizophrenic or a pretending that it doesn't exist, which is just not real.
Michael Caine in his acting in film thing.
Oh yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah, it was nailed right on in so many ways. When he said, "The camera will be your best friend for the rest of your life, but you will ignore it."
But as long as you kind of, I guess, welcome the falsehood of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I tried to. That really was certain things that people have said have meant something to me, and that was very powerful.
You've seen the final cut.
I have seen the final cut, but without the final effects in the last third act.
To what extent was it the way you pictured it? Because so many things have to be added after you were involved.
There is as far as my experiences show me, no parity usually between your enjoyment of the experience and the final product. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and the only thing you can hold on to is your experience. And this somehow not only lived up to it, but then has this bizarre other angle of being part of a really bigger conversation of equality and women's rights and things that are really at the fore of the political conversation, cultural conversation. So that's a bigger thing that I think somehow Patty just knocked out of the park.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.